Our mode of operation in our family was on a move, I would spend the first 2 days helping put the boxes away. And then the third day I got to go look for a place to go hunting. And I had been to the eastern shore, more down in the Kent Island area, hunting geese. And I was pretty reasonably involved with Ducks Unlimited. So I had I knew sort of where the hunting areas were, and it was either South Jersey or the Eastern Shore. Got with the local real estate agent, Lad Johnson here, and looked at available properties. We ruled out Talbot County. That was too expensive to get the size property that we wanted. And in those days, especially in Dorchester County, the Eastern Shore was based on what are called release birds. You buy them as chicks, you raise them, you buy them about 6-week-old, and by 12 weeks they can fly, and they're conditioned to sort of come back to your home farm. Tider's home farm, he would release something like 2,000 or 3,000 of these ducks. So you had to have a lot of food available. Legally, you can't put out food during the hunting season. It's considered baiting, although the history of Dorchester and to a lesser extent Talbot is based on a lot of baiting. I grew up hunting on duck clubs or duck properties in either the Bay Area or down in the Central Valley or in Seattle and Eastern Washington. So I had that reasonable appreciation of what it took to become attractive. And at the same time, you gain what's good for ducks is generally good for the property. And so you learn that balance between being good for nature and being good land steward. That wasn't the way things were done back here in Dorchester County, though. They typically relied heavily on these release birds and made the property attractive for them. They weren't wild birds, though, so that their habitat needs were quite different than what the wild ducks were. That first 10 years that we were here, 90 to 2000, our company did a number of acquisitions, and we basically went from a $300 million company to a $1.1 billion company. So I was quite busy. We kept releasing birds on our property, but toward the end of that decade, began to see that although we would release birds and they would eat our milo or grain, by the time the wild birds arrived on this property, there was nothing left because the release birds had eaten it all. So we cut out releasing ducks and just tried to make the property more friendly for the wild birds. We're doing all of this. We began to, our farm manager, Sam LeCombe, who's been the same farm manager we've had since '94, and we really began to learn how to be better stewards of our farm. We don't do agriculture in the traditional way. We grow what are called moist soils plants and have become a real advocate of that. That is using natural food, natural, I guess you could call weeds, things like smartweed and nutsedge and these things that the ducks eat in the wild, waterfowl eat in the wild. We started in conjunction with Ducks Unlimited, we started to hold an annual landowners seminar each year. We would tour 2-3 farms in the morning and then have a sharing of best practices in the afternoon. And the idea was to find out what's working, what isn't, and with habitat, this isn't a zero-sum game. If I have good habitat, you don't have bad habitat. It's not that I get it from you. If we both have good habitat, there will be more animals, birds that come here and use it. We would have 70 to 80 people attend our one-day seminar, which were farm owners, landowners. So maybe we had 50 different farms, and a lot of them have either totally or partially gone into the kind of agriculture that we've started. Well, it's rewarding for the waterfowl, and from that standpoint, that's the reward. If we can hold what we have, maybe grow it, maybe make it more attractive, then that would be my ultimate goal. You know, I'm also involved with Eastern Shore Land Conservancy, and Eastern Shore has this new program of Delmarva Oasis, and I think part of our Delmarva Oasis program will be joining with scientific organizations like Horn Point, and to an extent Shore Rivers and Nature Conservancy and Ducks Unlimited and Delaware Wildlands, and bring them all together in some kind of consortium to try to preserve, enhance land on the Eastern Shore. We, in our own properties, are trying to deal with the rise. We've bulkheaded or ripraped a little bit higher in a couple areas. But as of yet, we have not been affected to a great extent. But you can see parts of Dorchester County where the sea rise is higher than it has been by 2-3 inches, and how it's changing the habitat there. Humans, including Dorchester County, humans are going to have to adapt.